Former Teen Mom star Kailyn Lowry is teasing a breakup with her fiancé, Elijah Scott. The two share 3 children, Rio, Valley, and Verse. They have seemed relatively happy since they got together, but did something happen to cause them to part ways? Keep reading for more details. Kailyn Lowry teases breakup with Elijah Scott. It has not been easy for Kailyn Lowry to find lasting love. She was just a teenager when she met and got pregnant by Joe Rivera. They appeared on 16 and Pregnant and went on to welcome their son, Isaac. Initially, after they split, co-parenting was a struggle, but then she started dating and eventually found Javi American. They had a son, Lincoln, and tied the knot. That did not last and filed for divorce. She moved on with Chris Lopez, which seemed somewhat toxic. That resulted in 2 sons, Creed and Lux, but it was always an up-and-down situation. Kailyn Lowry, Lincoln, Isaac, however, Kailyn has revealed Chris was essentially the love of her life and things may have gone a different way. She eventually started to speak about her new neighbor. They began a romance and she became pregnant with their son, Rio, though they kept it private until long after Kail gave birth. Fans figured she was pregnant, but she never confirmed it. Not long after, she found out she was pregnant with twins and now had 7 children. Elijah was always popping the question, but finally, he had a ring and she accepted. Yet is it over between the two? She shared a TikTok and TM Chatter picked it up. Upon seeing it, they questioned what the deal was, especially since she made it with her ex, Becky. Were things done with Elijah, and was she referencing him as being a bitch? In the end, fans chimed in with their commentary. I just met both of them in the airport last week. They are very much still together, not talking about Elijah. He ain't going nowhere. Who is it? Once it was cleared up that Kailyn Lowry and Elijah Scott were likely fine, followers wondered who she was referencing. They started to speculate which baby daddy the TikTok was about. I have to know Joe or Javi. Nope, talking about Chris. I'm sure she's either talking about Chris or Javi. She's obsessed. Then, others shared their own experiences having been in similar relationships, so they loved that Kailyn did that video. More so, they were thrilled she and Becky had reunited. Hopefully, they can keep their friendship from falling by the wayside this time around. In the ever-turbulent world of reality television stars, where personal lives are public currency, a single social media post can ignite a firestorm of speculation. This week, that exact scenario unfolded for Kailyn Lowry, the longtime star of MTV's Teen Mom franchise, who sent her massive fan base into a tailspin after hinting at a potential split from her fiancé and the father of 3 of her children, Elijah Scott. The mother of 7, who has documented her journey to find lasting love since she was a teenager on 16 and Pregnant, shared a now viral TikTok that immediately had followers questioning the status of her current relationship. The video, set to an audio clip from a TikToker named Becca Moore, featured Lowry and her former best friend, Becky, reconciling and seemingly taking a jab at an unnamed individual. The critical line that set the internet ablaze was, "I'm so glad you're not a bitch anymore and we can be friends again." While the reunion with Becky was a welcome sight for many, it was the subtext that captivated and concerned the teen mom community. The account RTM Chatter was among the first to spotlight the video, posing the million-dollar question to its followers. Was Kailyn Lowry subtly announcing a breakup with Elijah Scott? And was he the bitch referenced in the clip? The speculation is particularly poignant given the couple's relatively recent and seemingly stable chapter. Lowry and Scott's relationship began quietly, blossoming from a neighborly friendship into a private romance. In a departure from her highly publicized past relationships, Lowry managed to keep her pregnancy with their first son, Rio, almost entirely under wraps until long after she had given birth, a feat that stunned her dedicated followers. The surprises didn't stop there. Soon after, she announced she was expecting twins, later welcoming daughter Valley and son Verse, bringing her total number of children to 7. Elijah, often described by fans as a calm and steady presence in her chaotic life, was frequently portrayed as the one who had finally cracked the code to a happy, stable partnership with the reality star. After what was reported to be multiple proposals, he presented her with a ring she proudly accepted, solidifying their status as a family and future spouses. The question now echoing across social media platforms is a simple one. Has that future been canceled? A history of complicated love. To understand the weight of this current speculation, one must look back at Kailyn Lowry's very public and often painful relationship history. Her search for a lasting partnership has been a central narrative of her story for over a decade. It began with Joe Rivera, her high school boyfriend and the father of her first son, Isaac. Their young romance, featured on 16 and Pregnant, eventually fizzled, and their subsequent co-parenting journey was initially fraught with tension. However, over the years, they have developed one of reality TV's most successful and commendable co-parenting relationships. Seeking stability, Lowry then found Javi Marikin. Their relationship was a whirlwind, resulting in marriage and a son, Lincoln. Their union played out on television, complete with its dramatic highs and devastating lows, including infidelity and a final, messy divorce that left deep scars. Then came Chris Lopez, a relationship that Lowry herself has described as intensely passionate and profoundly toxic. Their on-again, off-again dynamic was a source of constant drama for years. Despite the turmoil, their connection resulted in 2 sons, Creed and Lux. In a revealing and heartfelt admission, Lowry has stated that Lopez was, in many ways, the love of her life, a confession that adds a layer of tragic complexity to her romantic timeline. The up-and-down nature of their relationship left fans exhausted and concerned for her well-being. It was against this backdrop of public heartbreak and volatile partnerships that Elijah Scott entered the picture. His low-key demeanor and their decision to keep major life events private were seen as a healthy new direction for Lowry. He represented a departure from the drama, a man who was content to be out of the spotlight and focused on their growing family. The fan reaction, speculation, support, and skepticism. The viral TikTok did more than just raise questions. It opened the floodgates for fan theory and commentary. The response was a mixed bag of reassurance, wild speculation, and support for Kailyn's rekindled friendship. Many fans were quick to jump to Elijah's defense, adamant that the post could not possibly be about him. One commenter offered a real-world sighting, writing, "I just met both of them in the airport last week. They are very much still together," while another stated bluntly, "Def not talking about Elijah. He ain't going nowhere." Once the idea of an Elijah-related split began to lose steam, the detective work turned to her famous exes. The comment section became a forum for debating which baby daddy was the true subject of her cryptic message. Guesses flew fast and furious. "I have to know Joe or Javi," one user pondered. Another was more certain, commenting, "Nope, talking about Chris." A third offered a more critical take, suggesting, "I'm sure she's either talking about Chris or Javi. She's obsessed." Beyond the speculation, a significant portion of the response was overwhelmingly positive about the reunion with Becky. Followers who have watched their friendship dissolve and reconcile multiple times expressed their joy at seeing them together again. Then others shared their own experiences having been in similar relationships, so they loved that Kailyn did that video. More so, they were thrilled she and Becky had reunited. Hopefully they can keep their friendship from falling by the wayside this time around, as one summary of the sentiment noted. The unanswered questions. As of now, Kailyn Lowry has not directly addressed the breakup rumors. The silence is deafening, leaving a vacuum filled only by fan theories and the haunting echo of her complicated past. The central mystery remains. Who is the bitch she is glad to be rid of? The most plausible theory is that the video is indeed about reconciling with a person from her past, perhaps Chris Lopez or Javi Marikin, with whom a contentious relationship previously prevented her from mending fences with Becky. The video's narrative fits the classic "I'm glad the toxic person who came between us is out of the picture" trope.